Good evening. We apologize. We have an anomaly. This has never happened before, but this is spring break weekend, and so a lot of our council members are on spring break with their families, but we do have a council member that is coming. He should be here within the next 5 or 10 minutes, so we apologize. We cannot call the meeting to order until we have a quorum, and as soon as the council member comes, then we'll call the meeting to order. And we apologize for the inconvenience. Thank you so much. So that we do not have you all here all evening, we will do the announcements and presentations, which does not require a quorum for us to do. And so we will have the presentations of our 2023 spring class of the Dose of Douglasville, the Citizens Academy. Ms. Chelsea Jackson, our Assistant City Manager. She'll come forward. Thank you so much. Okay. There she is. We'll have Ms. Jackson go ahead with the Dose of Douglasville Citizens Academy.
My apologies, Mayor and Council.
No problem.
Chelsea Jackson, 6695 Church Street, Assistant City Manager, City of Douglasville. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. It is my honor to present to you the 7th graduating class for Citizens Academy, Dose of Douglasville, for the City of Douglasville. As you all know, Dose of Douglasville is a 10-week program to familiarize residents about the City of Douglasville, the city structure, and the services provided. The Academy provides residents with information, resources, and tools to become knowledgeable community members and effective neighborhood leaders. This year's class consisted of 21 participants, and they're all within the City of Douglasville, or at least have a business in the City of Douglasville as well. Throughout their time, these participants have met with city staff, participated in several activities throughout the past few months, and as you know, they've experienced several activities as it relates to creating their own budget. They presented to a mock city council, and they were very, very hard on themselves, and some of their budgets did not get adopted this year. We also had a lot of fun playing police chief, or a few of them played as police chief, as our city department directors, and leading their staff to present that budget as well. They met with public services and learned all things about sanitation, fleet, and facility maintenance. And at the last session last week, they got to meet the police chief and our major, and they learned all things about public safety, as well as some quotes from the chief that they'll remember probably for years to come.
Yes.
The spring 2023 class has been the most entertaining class thus far. As they all walked in, I had to remind them to behave tonight. And I also felt like a teacher having to separate the Three Stooges. They know who they are. I had to become the timekeeper to my late arrivals. Thank you for being on time today. And I also, in every class, tried not to laugh when Mr. Doyle introduced himself to all city staff as just Doyle. And also, I had to also make sure that we know about Miss Nancy. She is the very inquisitive individual in our Citizens Academy, and she asks all the questions so she can let her neighbors know the truth about the city of Douglasville. Even earlier today, she came and said, "Can you introduce me to everyone and let me know who every individual is so I'll know?" But we love her for that. Thank you for being very proactive. It is my pleasure to introduce this group of individuals to you, this very proactive class and citizens with the city of Douglasville. They've truly made my last 10 weeks, every Tuesday for 2 hours, a very memorable experience. I would like to introduce you to one of the graduates who will share their experience, Mr. Keandre Dunham. Mr. Dunham is a county resident, but he has 2 businesses in the city, and he will tell you how excited he was to participate in this year's class. Mr. Dunham, the floor is yours. Woo-hoo.
And Mr. Dunham, when you come forward, please tell us about your businesses that are in the city. We are excited about that you have invested in the city of Douglasville.
Yes, ma'am, I will. So Chelsea, that's going to take me over my 2 minutes.
Just a little bit.
When I walked in, I told Chelsea I'm black and I'm Baptist, so I have to keep myself on a time limit there. So I wrote down my remarks beforehand. But for the record, my name is Keandre Dunham. I do live in the county, right across Chapel Hill Road in the county. If I lived in the Kroger parking lot, I'd be in the city. Right. But we own and operate 2 businesses within the city limits of Douglasville. We own Painting with a Twist off Highway 5 in the Joann's Plaza, 9453. Georgia 5. That's where I think Mayor Pro Tem is our councilman there. And then we are preparing to open up a coffee shop, Just Love Coffee, over in the Tributary Plaza, where Councilman Estes will be our representative. It will be at 1851 Market Street. We are looking for a mid to late May opening, so please be on the lookout for that. If you do not follow us on social media, you should. Just Love Tributary. Those are my shameless plugs, and I will get back on script. So education of any sort is important. In the words of Kofi Annan, knowledge is power, information is liberating. Education is the premise of progress in every society. Dose of Douglasville has given us a peek into the workings of our city government. We have met with the finance department and gotten an understanding of where tax dollars go. We even got to simulate a portion of the budgeting process. It was with great pleasure that my team got their budget passed while voting no for the other team's budget.
She said no.
Parks and Rec gave an amazing presentation on the role they play in getting our community active, and they did it in an innovative and musical way. Chelsea, we're still waiting on our playlist. Chris, y'all make sure that she gets those songs so that she can get us that playlist from that class. So many of us live and work in this community, but very few of us were clear of the boundaries. So the evening we spent with community development, we got to zone our own city and became a little more clear on where the city limits of Douglasville are. Again, I still don't see why y'all can't just hop over Chapel Hill Road and annex Willows North into the city. You got my vote if you ever decide to do that. In today's society, where many live in a vacuum of distrust and misinformation about one thing or another, it has been great to see the level of transparency demonstrated by the city of Douglasville in welcoming its citizens into their government. Actor Jeff Bridges summed up civic engagement by saying, "The way to change the world is through individual responsibility and taking local action in your own community." It is my belief that each of us took individual responsibility to learn more about the community that we live in. That, in my opinion, is the first step to taking action to create a community that we can all be proud of. I can truly say tonight that our class of Dose of Douglasville is a great display of some of the amazing people in our community. As my college minister would say, don't leave the message at the church. He'd also leave us with the reminder that service does not begin until you leave the building, not when you get into it. So we have come, we have experienced, we have learned. It is my hope that we take the information that we've learned and spread it into places that need to hear it and see it. It will enable us to be of a better service to our community. Thank you, Mayor, Council, Ms. Hampton, especially to Chelsea, for leading us all and putting up with me for the past 10 weeks. I'm of the opinion that you all have some amazing people working for you all. I'd like to extend my thanks to each and every single member of city staff that came and presented and did all they do to make the city of Douglasville the great place that it is. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. All right, now, where's your Congress speech? And you can tell Councilman Adams about the school that you're associated with. You talked about college at the end of your speech, so you can, I know he'll be happy to hear this, the law school.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Thank you so much, Kendra. As you can see, they're a very entertaining class. I've named them the most entertaining individuals that I've had to work with as it relates to Dose of Douglasville, but it has truly been an honor and a pleasure to work with them over the last 10 weeks. Mayor and Council, I would now like to present to you the Spring 2023 Dose of Douglasville class. The following individuals have completed the requirements for graduation, and as I call your name, please come down to the front and receive your certificate from City Manager Marsha Hampton to my left. Arisha R. Allen. Africa Alsup. Juliet Blunt. John E. Dean, Jr. Keandre M. Dunham. Candace Mims Hall. Veronica Hardaway.
Woo, Mr. Dean, woo, woo.
Jamel T. Hobson. Mona Jackson. Sandra D. Lee. Francesca Lopez. Shayna R. McKinney. Nancy McPherson. Jeanette Poinsett. Robin Reed. Ms. Robin also had perfect attendance.
Ooh.
Serena Robertson. Dole Sedell. Jessica Withrow. Tony Wizard. Chad Word. I would like to say congratulations to all 21 participants that participated in the Spring 2023 Citizens Academy class. They completed all requirements set upon them, all activities, all sessions, and made everything very entertaining, as I said earlier. It has been a pleasure to work with them, and I wish them continued success as they begin to navigate as future neighborhood leaders and community activists. Congratulations to them all, and as a reminder, a reception will follow in the ballroom. Thank you all.
Assistant City Manager, once the pictures are done, you want to have everyone come forward so we can take a picture with myself and council members and the graduates of our Dose of Douglasville class. Mm-hmm. Hell, the gang's all here. All right, if you all will come forward so that we can take a group photo.
All right, if we can try to squeeze, thank you. I need it like condensed, yeah. Like, these need to come in, yeah, we need to come okay. Okay. I'm going to take a couple of different ones. So I'm going to count to three. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me see. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3. And then one last one. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you.
All right, so the room cleared out pretty quickly, but we will, our invocation will be done by the Reverend Janetha Rice Single. Oh, I apologize. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. We'll call to order the City of Douglasville City Council regular voting meeting for tonight, which is Monday, April the 3rd, 2023. Thank you from our right hand, Council Member Mayor Pro Tem. Our invocation will be done by the Reverend Janetha Rice Singleton, Associate Pastor of Douglasville First United Methodist Church. Good evening. And after that, we'll have our Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by the Mayor Pro Tem, City Council Member Terry Miller. Please stand for the invocation.
Let us pray as we reflect this week on Holy Week and everything that has been transpiring as we think of Jesus' entry into Jerusalem. Oh God, we thank you for the opportunity to come and be amongst your flock. God, I pray that as we reflect upon the Holy Week, I pray that you will continue to guide us as we march forward into your kingdom. Be with our city council members and our mayor, oh God, just guide them. And that everything that they do, oh God, be uplifting unto your kingdom. That as we move forward, and sometimes we may feel as if we are that tied down donkey, let others know, oh God, that you are God that will untie us from things that may be holding us back. And so my prayer tonight is that you will untie anyone that feel that there is something that's holding them back from reaching their full potential, and that they will be used by you for the upbuilding of your kingdom. In your name we pray. Amen. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, and thank you, Reverend Rice Singleton, for that beautiful invocation as we reflect on Holy Week. We have already gone through our spring class of Douglasville, a Citizens Academy, to award the great citizens in the city of Douglasville that have taken time out of their lives for 10 weeks to come and learn about their government. So now we'll go back to our audit, fiscal year 2022 audit presentation by Maulding and Jenkins, Ms. Meredith Lipson. She'll come before us and present to the audit, and it should be on your iPads. And after that, if we have any questions, I'm certain she's more than capable to answer those questions, and/or our finance director, Ms. Karen Callan. Welcome. Good evening.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Again, my name is Meredith Lipson. I was the partner in charge of the city's annual June 30, 2022 audit. What I have here is just a brief overview of the audit and the audit process and some highlights of the financial activity. I believe you all have, you said there's a copy. Okay, I'm making sure I understood what everybody was looking
Loaded
at.
to our iPads.
Okay. The first page just kind of gives you an overview of what we'll be discussing. The next page just gives you a little bit of information about our firm, Maulding and Jenkins, if you're not familiar with us. We do a significant amount of governmental auditing and other types of services for governments throughout the southeast states, and so we feel like we bring a bit of expertise to the government auditing process. The audit opinion. Our responsibility, of course, as always, is to express an opinion on the financial statements based on our audit procedures, but the overall statements themselves are the responsibility of management. The objective is to provide reasonable, not absolute, but reasonable assurance that the basic financial statements are free of material misstatement. We did issue an unmodified opinion on the basic financial statements. That means a clean opinion. That's the opinion you want to get. The statements are presented fairly in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States. And the audit opinion, the clean unmodified opinion, also extends to the component units of the city, the Douglasville Public Purpose Corporation, the Douglasville Development Authority, and the Douglasville Convention and Conference Center Authority. As far as the financial statements and the other reports that are within your annual comprehensive financial report, we do issue a report on government auditing standards. In that report, there are no material weaknesses or significant deficiencies, nor are there any instances of non-compliance. So that report in accordance with government auditing standards is also clean. The city was required to undergo a single audit in accordance with uniform guidance, meaning that you all expended in excess of $750,000 of federal funding. We do issue a report on compliance for the single audit in that major program. The program was the Department of Transportation, Highway Planning and Construction clusters, and we had no findings with regards to internal controls or compliance in regards to the single audit. There are a number of things that we as your auditors are required to communicate to you all under the standards that guide us. We are required to mention that there are significant accounting policies that are followed by the city, and those are included within the footnotes to the financial statements. The city did implement a new Governmental Accounting Standards Board statement, number 87, related to leases. That was implemented in the current year, and it is noted within the audit report. There are certain estimates that are essential to the financial reporting process, including things like valuation of accounts receivable, allowance for uncollectible accounts, and so forth. Management comes up with these estimates. We just make sure that they are reasonable within our audit procedures. The footnotes to the statements are an integral part of the statements themselves, and they do provide a great deal of additional information to back up the numbers that you are seeing in the financial statements themselves. As always, we receive full cooperation from management, no disagreements with them on any of the accounting issues or financial reporting matters. We did have a couple of audit adjustments, nothing of any significance. Those were proposed to the records of the city, have been given to the city and posted on the city's books and records. We did request written representation from management, as we always do at the end of the audit, and we did receive that representation of no issues. We are not aware of any consultation with other accountants. There were no significant issues that were discussed with management related to business conditions, plans, strategies, things of that nature. We do ask that if there is information, if you all decide to put the audited financial statements in any other documents, that you just provide us with printer's proofs prior to doing so that we can make sure that everything matches up with the actual audit issued. We are independent with regards to the city and the component units, and there's no fees paid to the audit sector of Malden and Jenkins for advisory services that would affect our independence. The pie chart that you're seeing here kind of gives a good overview of the revenues of the general fund, which of course is your main operating fund. Sometimes it's easier to just kind of see it in this format rather than just looking at numbers. Total revenues for fiscal year 2022 were $38.8 million. As with most city governments, property taxes and sales taxes make up the largest portion of the governmental revenues. Same scenario here, but with your general fund expenditures. Total expenditures were $35.5 million. As with all governments, public safety is the largest function for expenditures, followed by general government. But again, total expenditures, $35.5 million. This chart, we have a 5-year history of the government's revenues, expenditures, and transfers in and out to and from other funds. As you can see, the darker shaded columns, of course, are the revenues and any transfers in. The green are the expenditures and other transfers out. In every case over the past 5 years, the city has been fortunate that those revenues were exceeding your expenditures, so your fund balance has been increasing for the past 5 years. For 2022, total revenues and other financing sources approximately $40 million. Total expenditures and other financing uses were approximately $35.3 million. And that equates to what you see on the following page, which is this line graph. For 2022, your fund balance in the general fund increased approximately $4.66 million. As you notice, that it's kind of all over the place for the past 5 years, and that really reflects the overall economy and things that have been going on, all over the United States with regards to whether it's COVID or price increases, decreases, whatever. You all certainly fall in line with most other governments in the way that their fund balances are changing. But again, $4.66 million increase for 2022. This next chart compares your expenditures, not including your transfers, to your fund balance over the past 5 years. For 2022, your total expenditures were $35.5 million with a fund balance of $29.16 million. Basically what that says is that you all have approximately 298 days of expenditures within your total fund balance. That $29 million in fund balance includes not only unassigned, but also some amounts that have been assigned. Approximately 73% of your unassigned fund balance will cover your expenditures. So 298 days, that's getting close there to almost a full year's worth of expenditures or funding within your fund balance, which is a good, strong fund balance for you all to have in an environment where I know you all have projects that are ongoing, all kinds of changes that are coming up. So it's good to have that strong fund balance moving forward. The next couple of pages just provide you all with a little bit of information about the other advisory services that we offer as a firm. These services are totally separate from the audit practice, but we recognize that governments are in need of a lot of different types of services, and so we just want to make sure that you all are aware of those that we provide, whether it's advisory services, IT, cybersecurity, Yeah, I'm certainly not involved in the IT and cybersecurity, but again, they're separate teams that handle this type of work. The next 3 pages, and I won't bore you with this, these are all of the Government Accounting Standard Board statements that are out on the horizon that will have to be implemented by the city over the next few years. And just looking at them, the majority of them will not have any effect or not have much of an effect on the city, primarily not an effect on the accounting part of it. It's more of a financial reporting changes that are coming up. But as you can see, a lot of different topics, a lot of different changes that they're coming out with. But again, nothing that you all need to be overly concerned with. And then finally, we do offer free quarterly continuing education for all of our clients. And if you all are ever interested in participating, it went from in-person to what do you call it, a webinar, and everybody likes that because they can just sit at their desk. So that's how we're going to continue doing them. But if you all are ever interested, we would love to have you participate. If you'll just get your information to us, and we'll send those announcements out to you all, and you can register. And that is pretty much it. I would like to express my gratitude to the Finance Department. Karen and her staff do an excellent job. You all are so very fortunate to have such a strong Finance Department. They make it pleasant to come and do the audit, if that can be believed. But again, do appreciate very much the opportunity to work with you all. And if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to address those.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lipson. We appreciate the presentation. Our Finance Chair, Councilman Adams, I'll let him take the lead if he has any comments or questions, but we appreciate your time in our Finance Department, and we're excited that we have a clean report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to take the opportunity again to thank Ms. Lipsum and Malden and Jenkins for handling this for us. I know we've been clients of the company for many, many years, and I really appreciate the layperson's attitude that you approach this from, because there's a lot of numbers and a lot of formulas that
Yes, sir.
all of us, or at least most of us, I being included, don't understand very well. But it's a very pleasant experience, or has been for me during the time I've been involved with the council. And kudos again to our Finance Department and employees, staff, management, our city manager, everyone. Thank you all for doing the tremendous job that you do. We appreciate it very much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilman Adams. We have any comments? Mayor Pro Tem? Councilman Estes?
Nothing to add, thank you.
Councilman Davis? All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Lipson. We appreciate you. Thank you, Finance Director. You have anything you want to say? Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Callen. We appreciate that. I neglected to give the instructions for the meeting. I believe everyone here is already aware of them, but I'll just go over just briefly some of the protocol. I ask that you would please put your cell phones on the silent mode, or turn those off until after the meeting so they will not be disruptive. If you would like to come to the podium, please give your name and address when you come to the podium, and you have 5 minutes to address myself and council members in regards to any business that is related to the city of Douglasville. This is a voting meeting. It'll be a little bit different than what we experienced last Thursday, which was our work session. This voting meeting will go a little quicker. We will vote on the items that were discussed then. We only have one person, please, coming to the podium, speaking at a time, and address all of your concerns, questions, and answers to the chairperson. When we have a public hearing, which I believe we'll have one this evening with the alcohol license, there are 20 minutes for those in favor of the applicant and 20 minutes for those in opposition, and each person has 5 minutes to speak. So this is not a question and answer format. We're just here, or debate. We're here to hear the information and hopefully be able to respond or recommend you to staff that will get your answers for your concerns. Those are the rules for the meeting, and now we will move on after our announcements and presentations to number 5 on the agenda. There are paper ones outside, and/or you can follow us on the screen. I open the floor for a motion to adoption of the regular meeting agenda for April 3rd, 2023.
Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Councilman Davis. I have a motion. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Estes. It's been properly moved in second to adopt the regular meeting agenda for tonight, which is April 3rd, 2023. We have any comments or questions from council members? I don't see any. All those in favor of adopting the agenda, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. This agenda is adopted. Now I open the floor for approval of the minutes. I have the minutes of the March 16th, 2023 legislative work session and executive session, and minutes of March 20th, 2023 public hearing budget FY 23-24 and regular meeting. I will open the floor for a motion to approve this item 23-127.
So moved.
Thank you so much, Councilman Adams. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. It's been properly moved in second to approve item 23-127. Do we have any comments or questions from council? It's quiet. I don't hear anyone. So all those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 23-127 is unanimously approved. We'll move on then to the consent agenda. I will open the floor for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Adams. It's been properly moved in second to approve the consent agenda as presented. Do we have any comments, questions, concerns, any corrections from council? Nope. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The consent agenda is unanimously approved. We'll move on then to item number 8, which is Economic Development Committee, chaired by Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Terry Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There's no business under the Economic Development Committee at this time.
Thank you, sir. Move on to item number 9, which is Finance Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Mark Adams.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome.
We will cover 3 items tonight under finance. Start with item A, authorize the mayor to sign change order number 13 with Ray Lynn for the Town Green Amphitheater project for the purposes of the stair tower demolition, event space window modification for concessions, and restroom window angle support modification for the stage and green room, and upgrade from tempered to laminated glass for the event space handrail system. Mr. Thompson is with us tonight to discuss further any question or comment or concern that anyone might have concerning this item. Mr. Thompson.
Marcus Thompson, City Engineer, 6701 Church Street. I don't have any additional information tonight. Are there any questions or concerns that you guys have?
Questions, concerns, anyone? No comment? Madam Mayor, you okay? You ready
Yes,
to go
sir.
forward?
I'm fine.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Thompson. We'll move along quickly then. Item 23-155, I'll make a motion for approval.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion for approval. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Davis. It's been properly moved in second by the chair, Councilman Adams, and second by Councilmember Davis to approve item 23-155. Do we have any comments or questions as relates to this for Mr. Thompson? I don't see any. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 23-155 is unanimously approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. A little glitch on my screen here. Item B. Authorize the mayor to sign change order number 2 with Reeves Young LLC for the Jesse Davis Park project to add a raceway to the press box and additional playground equipment. Mr. Thompson, again, will handle that for us.
All right, no additional information at this time. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Are there questions or comments from anyone? Seeing none, I make a motion that we approve item 23-147.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. We have a motion to approve. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved in second to approve item 23-147. Do we have any comments or concerns for Mr. Thompson about this change order for Jesse Davis Park? Don't see any. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 23-147 is unanimously approved.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. We'll move on then to the last item. Item C, authorize city staff to initiate the formal sealed bid process to receive bids for the purpose of removing the tower located on city-owned property at Club Drive. Mr. Greg Roberts is with us in case anyone has any additional questions concerning the process. Mr. Roberts, help us out.
Greg Roberts, Public Services Director. I do not have any new information, so just looking to see if you guys have any questions.
Questions, comments? This is the tower sitting on the property we purchased from the county, where at the moment the coroner's office is located.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Seeing no other information or questions or comments, make a motion that we approve item 23-158. Thank you, Mr. Robert.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to approve this item. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. It's been properly moved and second, moved by the chair, Councilman Adams, and second by Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Miller, to approve item 23-158. Do we have any comments or questions from council about the tower? I don't see any. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 23-158 is unanimously approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. That's all that we have tonight under finance.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I would ask if you please would take Housing and Community Affairs Committee, since you're the vice chair of that committee.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. No business tonight under Housing and Community Affairs.
Thank you, sir. Legislative and Intergovernmental Committee, chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis.
No items at this time, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Councilman Davis. Councilman Estes, you're on this committee. I would ask that you please take Personnel and Organization Committee.
I'd be happy to. Thank you,
Thank
Madam
you.
Mayor. That we have no business under Personnel and Organization tonight.
Thank you, sir. Planning and Development Committee, chaired by Councilmember Adams.
No business, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I would ask that you please take Public Improvement and Beautification Committee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're
We have
welcome.
one item tonight under the Public Improvement and Beautification Committee.
Yes, sir.
That is to authorize the mayor to sign lighting services agreement with Georgia Power Company for lighting upgrades at the following locations: East and West Church Street, 50, I guess that'd be 52 locations, 6695 Church Street and at Town Center, 11 locations, 6630 East Strickland Street, 19 locations, 68 Old Dallas Highway, 36 locations, and 12385 Veterans Memorial Highway, 22 locations. And Mr. Greg Roberts, you will
Okay.
kindly fill us in on anything we may have not discussed last Thursday.
Good evening again. Greg Roberts, Public Services Director for the city. We discussed this on Thursday. Unless you guys have any questions or need some clarification, I do not have any new information.
And still no pictures.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I did have
Yes, Madam Mayor.
just a confirmation that Georgia Power is going to they'll fix the lights if anything happens to them and bill them and everything. They're going to take total control.
Yes, it's very similar to something we did about 4 years ago. If for those that remember, I think most of you were on the council at that time, we turned over some lights down Campbellton Street to Georgia
Yes.
Power and over near Arbor Place Mall. And so that, it's lock, stock, and barrel theirs. If a car hits it, they replace it. If they just quit working, it's theirs to repair.
Yes, sir.
It'll get us out of the street light business on those decorative lights. But one point of clarity, though, and I did mention it Thursday night, but the first leg of this work is to get from Rose Avenue to Bowden Street, and that will be, hopefully with this approval, that work would commence as early as June or July, and it wouldn't take that long to get that section. The rest will just follow in the weeks and months to come. So the majority of it will probably be done in calendar 2024. So it's going to take a great deal of time to do this inner city part, what they refer to as town center, because there's so many businesses and so many underground utilities. That one will take a while, but we will work closely with Georgia Power to reduce as much as possible to interfere with any of our events after June and July.
At the Town Green Amphitheater area.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
That's
Any
it.
other questions or comments from anyone else? I will brag on Georgia Power briefly. If you sign up, they have a text service that if there's a blackout or brownout in your area, they will send you a text automatically. And the response time is actually pretty quickly. We had a brownout in our house last weekend.
Oh,
I mean, it was
no.
just our house. And
my
they sent us a
gosh.
text saying they would be out to fix it, and they showed up before we even called.
Oh, wow, that's
And
great.
had it repaired. It was weird. And we had like one light would work, one wouldn't. And I spent half the evening in our fuse box, or in our breaker box, trying to figure out what's going on here. It was
Yeah.
like, I had no idea you could have a brownout in your house, but apparently you can.
Wow.
So, anyway.
Good.
Seeing there's no other questions or comments, then I would like to place item 23-139 in the form of a motion for approval.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. I have a motion for approval. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Estes. It's been properly moved in second to approve item 23-139. Are there any additional comments or questions as relates to this item? I don't see any. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 23-139 is unanimously approved. We'll move on then to the next committee, Public Relations Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Howard Estes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The PR Committee has no business this evening.
Thank you, sir. Public Safety Committee, chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis.
Yes, I have one item, and
Yes, sir.
item A is consider an application for alcoholic beverage license for the retail package sale of wine and malt beverage at the following establishment: proposed licensee, L.A. Capital Mexican Store, LLC, DBA, L.A. Capital Supermarket, location 6079 Favre Road, proposed agent, outlet manager, Irene Bellini. The required fees have been paid into the finance department. Will your applicant please come down if you're here?
Actually, she was sick, so she not able to come, so I'm coming back for her. I'm her husband.
Can you state your name and address for the record, please?
I'm Shahid Valiani. Address is 6079 Fairburn Road, Douglasville, Georgia.
Will you repeat one more time? You're in the place of who?
My wife, Amreen Valiani, she's not able to come today.
Okay, good.
She
All right,
was
since we had the public hearing on Thursday, as Mayor and Council, do we have any additional questions before I make a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, just want to make sure and verify, this is an application for retail package sale. This is not for anything on site. This is just retail package of beer and wine. Is that correct?
Yes.
I just want to make that clarification because I think there were some questions about that on Thursday. Give us the location, if you can, Mr. Belliani, where this is located on Fairburn Road, just for our own information.
Is it in the plaza? Is it in a shopping center? And,
Across from Ren's Body Shop?
No, is it Dollar General and Dollar Tree over there?
Oh,
Okay.
the Hunan.
Right
Forest
there.
Mart Shopping Center.
Yes.
Now you got my number.
Right
Okay.
there, yeah.
Thank you. That's all. Thank you.
Okay.
Forest Mart rings a bell.
Yep, that's right. Mr. Miller?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And quickly clarify the name. Is it LA Capital or is it La Capital?
El Capital.
La Capital, okay. I want to make sure we're saying it right.
Yes.
Okay. Otherwise,
Like Law Fitness. Huh?
yeah, no, that's LA, yeah.
So
You
this
said you
is-
didn't have any
this is-
jokes. See, you've got
Madam
some
Mayor?
material.
Just a little bit.
You good, Madam Mayor?
Yes, sir, I'm fine.
Okay, this is supermarket, so you'll be able to go in and you have meat and vegetables supermarket, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Glad to see that. And, well, how long you been here in our city?
You talking about the business?
Doing business, yes.
How long I've been doing this business?
Yes, here in the
I
city.
have the Highway 5 beverage liquor store in the city that's owned by me too.
Oh, good, good. Well, welcome again, and thank you for doing business with us in the city. And after that, Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Thank you so
Number
much.
23-148.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. We have a motion to approve this agenda item. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Estes. It's been properly moved in second to approve item 23-148. We did have some concerns, or not concerns, but questions and clarity. Do we have any other concerns or questions or any comments for the applicant? I don't see any. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 23-148 is unanimously approved.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
And good luck. That's all I have, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Councilman Davis. I'll ask that you would please take Recreation, Culture, and Tourism Committee. You are the vice chair.
I have no business at this time, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, sir. Technology Committee, is chaired by Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Terry Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business under the Technology Committee at this time.
Thank you, sir. And if you don't mind, you are the vice chair for Transportation Committee. Could you take that as well?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business under the Transportation Committee at this time as well.
Thank you, sir. We'll move on then to other business. Do we have any other business to come before council tonight from the elected officials? Okay, I don't see anyone or hear anyone. Only thing I would add is that there is an Easter egg hunt at Willing Workers Park on Saturday at 10 o'clock, I believe. Yes, and there was one, Mr. Bass, is that correct time? Yes, sir. There was one this past Saturday as well. It rained, but the sun came out, not tomorrow, but that same day, so there were some kids there. But we do have one on Saturday as well, Willing Workers. So if we don't have any other business, I'll move on to the next agenda item, updates from city staff. Our city attorney, Mr. Joel Dotson.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dotson. Our staff attorney, Ms. Miranda Jordan.
Good evening, Madam Mayor.
Good evening.
I have no business this evening.
Thank you, Attorney Jordan. Our deputy chief, J.R. Davison.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Chief. Our city manager, Ms. Marsha Hampton.
Just two small things. Miss Shayla Reed will be returning to the office tomorrow from leave.
Oh,
So if you all
yay.
are around, stop by to see her this week, but she will be back in the office. And then just a small reminder, it was asked for me to mention, you all did receive your audit report, and you do see that we have a healthy fund balance, but, you know, I'm always the bearer of cautionary tales. The cautionary tale that I will just remind you is that your fund balance policy states that you have to have a minimum of 3 months, 25%, a maximum of 6 months, of 50%. If you either go above or below that, the city manager is required to make a recommendation to you all what to do with those additional proceeds. And since we are slightly above the 6 months, as I will remind you, starting in 2025, calendar year 2025 in January, your fund balance will not grow as exponentially because you will start paying the additional services for fire and animal control to Douglas County. So that is what you've been preparing for, and that is what you've been planning for, coupled with your lost revenues starting this year from your lost proceeds, which are accounted for in the proposed tax increase with the recent budget adoption, which hopefully won't be as substantial based on when we receive the digest report to set your millage rate. But that is my cautionary tale to you all and anybody else, so. Any questions?
Yes, sir, City Manager, and of course, I brought that up in our finance meeting. I said, we can spend some money, just like I do with my husband, but she said that she made certain that we understood that we are at that 50% threshold, just a little above that, but that we do have those requirements or the responsibilities that when we negotiated with Douglas County, that we're going to have additional expenses that we have not had in the past, so we had to have those resources in reserve to pay for our service delivery of the items.
Yes, ma'am, and one thing you reminded me of that we also mentioned, in the auditor mentioned this, but you do have 2 sites that will be coming online, your Town Green and Jesse Davis Park as well, and you'll have operational costs that are related to those 2 facilities. So that is not currently in your budget, but you have to have the funds to support those 2 services as well. So, but you're in a great position.
So we can't spend money on getting a hotel right now. But anyway, we'll move on. Is that all you have, City Manager? Thank you so much. Now we're at the point for comments and from citizens and delegates. If you've sustained the meeting and you'd like to speak to us, please come forward, and you have 5 minutes to give your concerns or comments to myself and council members with business germane to the city of Douglasville.
I'm Cindy Welch. I reside at 3002 Concord Way, Douglasville. And this is something that you all need to maybe be thinking about. When the new building that the school board is doing over near Hunter Park, and if it gets in operation, have you thought about a traffic light at Gurley Road and Highway 5? I mean, right now, if you're coming out from Hunter Park and you've been at a baseball game or a soccer tournament or tennis or whatever, it is really hard to get out onto Highway 5. And it's going to probably get worse when that other building opens up. And it's just, you've got a year, and as Ms. Hampton says, you have extra money, so maybe you need to think about that traffic light there. Because I would hate to have you have to have a police officer there after everything to direct traffic. So just something to think about.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for bringing your comment to us in our Public Safety Department. Our police department is represented here, and they will look into that for us.
I would suspect that even, after a graduation, even if we had a light there, we probably would still have a police officer, because you've got a couple thousand people coming and going, or, leaving at the end of the event. You probably want to have an officer there no matter what to direct traffic,
Yeah.
to override the light, so.
Because there's a lot of people coming in and out. Thank you so much. Any other comments from citizens and delegates? I don't see any. If we don't have any other business to come before council tonight, this meeting is adjourned.